Better find you, sis.
Okay, and it said this meeting is being live streamed. Okay.
We're in there. Oh my God. Woo. There we go. Something on my back that I need to get on, baby. The world's been nuts. Just the other day I had to rap a man grown up. Who am I to act this way? Well, sugar, I'm the boss lady. Busy handling and managing. But when I get next to you, baby, ain't nobody gonna be there but me and Are y'all helping me sing? I hear you. Jill, damn it, come on, help out now. I need you to come on. This is what the single people are saying. Wherever those potential bulls are, folks, come on. Where are you? You need to get here yesterday. Okay? Welcome back. It's not Friday night. Usually we're here on a Friday night. It's a Saturday night. This seems weird to be here on a Saturday night, but I'm real glad to be here with my very special guest, Ms. Valencia Bay. Say hi to the people, Ms. Valencia.
Hello, hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm feeling real good, especially to be hanging out with you. So we did last night. Let me see if I get some volume here. Last night I was flying solo. I was like, it's been a while since I sat on here by myself, and I was talking about the dating trends, right, in 2022. And I thought that would kind of set us up for tonight to talk about how do you change your dating game, right? Mm-hmm. Because so many rules, so many scenarios. And because we are seasoned individuals.
Yes, we're seasoned, yes.
Who have some years in the game, we definitely have talked about before how the rules have changed and are consistently changing. So tonight I want to spend most of our time talking about how you have. I was sharing with my daughter-in-law, telling Valencia about a couple months ago and some other people that I wanted her to come on the show because she has such an interesting and profound way of looking at things, like your life perspective, kind of your core values, but still being nimble and fluid with that process. And so it also reminds me of kind of having these Sankofa moments where you're able to kind of look back and figure it out in the process of moving forward. And so that's like such a phenomenal way to approach, especially something, I would say, somewhat sensitive like this or emotionally driven as dating. So that was my reason for reaching out to you, besides you just being a phenomenal human being and oh so beautiful.
Thank you. You
want
too.
to pick your brain tonight. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. So shout out, last night I gave my shout out to Lindsay, right, with my HBCU-ish shirt. And tonight my shout out goes again to my favorite fan, or one of my favorite fans, who says that yellow is my color. So I
it
thought
looks good on you. It does look good on you.
I thought I would do a all yellow. Okay, moment of silence for the yellow. So that's from my favorite fan, and you know who you are. Okay, all right. So there was my PSA for the night. So all right, we're gonna get into it. So tell me a little. Give the audience some background about you, whatever you want to share about yourself, and then your relationship status, and then we'll dive in.
Okay. I was married for many years. I got married when I was 22. I had a son when I got married, and then we had three more children. So by the time I was 30, I had four children and a husband and a mortgage, and we were just trying to figure it
Yes,
out.
say that.
That was a whole lot for two people. I was 30 and he was 34, and now we have been together since I was 20. So that's a lot. That's a
Yes, it
lot for two
is.
people,
Yes, it is.
and our relationship just did not survive those things. I was a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mother for a while from the time I was about 30 to 36, 37. And so
Okay.
because he said, we got like we were partners until we weren't. So he
Wow.
said he
Okay.
said, okay, go ahead and you can stay home with the kids, you take care of the children. And he did everything that he should have done. He was an excellent provider. And I give that context because that really impacts how I date now, because he
Hmm.
was an excellent provider. So why should I be struggling with somebody and have and go through those things at an advanced stage when I did have someone to provide for me when I was younger.
Hold
So
on.
that's so
Pause.
he kind of
Pause
he
right there.
oh
She
go
said,
ahead.
I ain't trying to go backward.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to go
You know,
backward.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
hear
just
you.
I just don't, and so and there were good things and there were bad things, and then it just went downhill. And I've been divorced for 13 years now, so I
Okay.
had to rebuild
Okay.
my life after that. I'd gone to graduate school. I was married. Thank God for that, because I was able to build a very solid, lucrative career in the tech space. And
Nice.
then currently I work I'm head of user research for a tech startup, and that's a really great position. I go out to San Francisco like every other month to where the home office is, and I've met some really really interesting people and some really wealthy people too. So that like my
Ooh,
dating pool has expanded.
ooh,
So
San
it's kind
Francisco.
of
I didn't
yes
know.
it's kind of nice. So yeah,
Where's my travel agent? Are you? And she should usually be on here. Travel agent, San Francisco. We gotta add that to the list because she asked me for a list. Where are some places you haven't been? Because I tend
mm,
to go to the same
mm,
place over
yeah.
and over again. And she was like, "Okay, I need a list of where you have not been that you want to go." So now I got to add San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco, beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So 13 years. So we got
yeah. And I
about
was
the
and
same
I was
number of
married for
years out
20.
here.
I was with him for 20 years. We were married for
Wow.
18, lived together as husband and wife for 16, and then dated before that. So
Right.
it's a long time. And then so that meant that I was kicked back into the dating pool in my late 30s, early 40s, and I felt like I'd been under a rock.
Yes.
And it was like, what is going on? Because before, no matter who it would, but even men before my ex-husband, it was like, okay, so we met, we kind of started liking each other, we started seeing each other, we went together. It wasn't no, what are we doing? Conversations about, are
Oh
we
my
friends or are
gosh.
we this? We go together. It's real
Okay.
simple. We go together. And I never really had problems with men cheating either.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the few times that I did, they told me, I would find out. I found out, and it was like, oh no, I can't do this because it was too many things going around, like STDs and stuff like that. And it was the late 80s. You know, AIDS wasn't really
Right. Right.
we didn't know a whole lot, so it wasn't like I wasn't as careful as I would be now.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like but I didn't worry about cheating. I didn't worry about somebody cheating on me because they were always with me, whoever I was seeing. So it
Okay.
wasn't like, I didn't have to, nobody told me you made assumptions about what we were doing. And none of that. It was pretty
No.
straightforward. The guys were
Very.
nice. Even if they didn't want to get married, they wanted to be with me, and they
Right.
thought I was great and they wanted to be with me. So I thought they were great. I wanted to be with them. And it seemed so much simpler back then.
A
Now
lot simpler.
it's just different. It's just different. And look, I've opted out for the time being. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I'm okay with that decision. I'm just fine with that
So you
decision. But
saying you're sitting on the sidelines right now?
sitting on the sidelines,
Okay.
happily sitting on the sidelines, very
Okay.
happily, because that's how
Okay.
I spent most of my 40s. After I tried for about 2, 3 years, I
Hmm.
was like, "What is going on here? I got to ask you what we doing. I got to ask you if we friends or not." And then you come in the room and you always put your phone down on the other side, and you got to leave the room to
These
take a
habits.
call, and you don't it, I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. So I opted out for most of my 40s too. I tried it for about
Okay.
3 years. Most of my 40s, I was just like, I can't, because I had kids at home, trying high
Hmm.
schoolers in college. And then when my youngest went to college, I met a really nice man, and I didn't know what I wanted. And we did our thing for 3 years, and
Okay.
it was just I was just we were seeing each other, and then it ended, and I haven't really haven't really tried to date. I mean, men approach me, and I approach them too, but uh, eventually it just doesn't. It's when we're just not compatible because I'm looking for something very specific, uh,
Hmm.
in terms of how we interact. Because I don't have a whole lot of time to waste. I'm in my early 50s. I'm not interested in going back and forth and playing with somebody. You know, people have health challenges, and you want
Hmm.
somebody you can really depend on and lean on. And I'm just not interested in playing around with somebody who wants to be with five or six other people at this age.
Lord,
At this age,
the
or
rotation.
even three or four, two or three is too much at this age. Come on, what are you doing?
Listen.
Because if you're doing that at this age, that's what you're gonna do, and there's no room for me. Let me just let that all go. I love you, you be you, but I can't do that.
So if somebody said to you, I want to be clear, and then I want to go back to this specific that you're looking
Okay.
for. So if somebody said to you, you met somebody and you're like, wow, there she is. Hey, Sherry Berry. See, I was calling for you. Good evening. Add San Francisco to the list, sis. I need to go to San Fran and not for the rice-a-roni. I need to go to San Francisco. Anyway, no, I'm good. I'm actually good. I don't want to get no. I'm good. Anyway, so if you met somebody and they said to you, how, hey Cass, how are you? Oh, we got a fella in the room, nice. And you're like, wow, okay, got a lot in common. You feel, okay, this is somebody I would like to interview. And they said that they have several people that they date. Just socially, not in a relationship with anybody, but several people that they date. You would not be interested in
Oh,
dating that person.
I will go out with them. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
give. Generally, if someone asks me out, I'll go out with them,
Okay.
and then I'll assess whether we actually have things in common, whether the conversation is good, whether we click. Because half a relationship, more than half of a relationship, is you spending a whole lot of time sitting around with that person looking. So can you? Do you enjoy having a meal with them?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you enjoy their conversation? Are they crazy talking? Or if they talk crazy, are they doing it for shock value, or are they doing it to make you laugh? All those things. And are they funny? I love to laugh. How do they treat their kids? What's their relationship like with the people they love, or their exes, or things? All those things I'm kind of listening for, and then mostly too, is he excited about me? Am I excited about him? If I'm
Mm.
not excited about him, it's just not fair to him to, keep going because I'm not excited about him. If he's not excited about me, it's not fair to me to try to keep going because you're not excited about me. We need to be excited about each other, like when we gonna see each other again. Oh, I love this
Yes.
conversation. So that when I say specific, that's what I'm looking for. I'm
Okay.
looking for
Okay.
somebody to really be excited about me. And if he's not excited, then what's the point? I mean,
Why are we doing this?
why are we doing it?
So we were talking about that a little bit before we came on, and about how maybe we have in the past, and I know I have, and I see people do it now, sit in a space and give somebody 100,000 chances, right? Or, well, I'm not feeling it, but I'm gonna try it again. I'll go out again. I'll go out again. Why do people do that? Like you're saying, because I would think it would be as simple as what you're saying. And maybe, like I said, that's growth and maturity. That if it's not clicking, if I'm not feeling the same way about you that you're feeling about me, there's really no reason to go further. So why do you think people kind of just keep stepping up to bat, take a swing at the bat when you really know it's a strike?
I know for it, I can speak for myself when I was in that space when I first started dating. I was very unsure because I had three daughters, and I was
Okay.
unsure about whether someone would actually want to be with somebody with three kids because I'd heard so many horror stories. Ain't no man gonna want you with this, ain't no man. And I got it, I let that get in my head. So I
Mm-hmm.
was unsure and I was a little bit afraid of like, okay, so what if I go through all my 40s and 50s and I don't find nobody? Not understanding that now in my 50s, that's completely okay. If I don't find somebody, it's okay because I have everything that I need. I'm not struggling. I wake up every morning in peace and it's just nice. So I'm looking for
Yes.
somebody who is in the same space. He loves his
Hmm.
space. He loves who he is. He knows who he is. He has enough of everything that he wants. And then we come together and we're excited about each other. And that's like, yeah. But I didn't understand that in my early 40s because I was coming out of the marriage and felt like, felt unwanted and felt so many negative things.
Yes.
And I think sometimes, I know for me, I would be in that place of fear. Like I would give people more than their share of chances because I thought, well, and okay, so what was also ingrained in me is when I was talking to my daughter, my oldest daughter turned 29 today. So I spent the day
Hey
with her
girl,
and we were
happy
just talking about
birthday.
relationships and things. And I thank
Hmm.
you. And so she said, I said, when I was in my 20s, the advice that I got overwhelmingly from the Christian women in my life, from my mother, and when I started having issues in my marriage, and I was like, well, so of course I went to my mother, and my mother
Hmm.
said, "You work on yourself. That's a good man. You work on yourself, and you figure out how to make that thing work." So I was like, okay, so I've been looking inward for a long time,
Okay.
like what can I do to fix
Yes.
this? And I was like, oh God, help me fix this.
Hmm.
And just
Fix me,
say,
Lord.
yes, fix me, Lord. And I think our generation was just that was ingrained in us.
Yes.
Fix you, and God will take care of that man.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
realizing
Yes.
it is not that serious. Okay, it is not
I
that
said
serious.
the fixing me, and like I was telling you, the being patient, right? Being
Yes,
patient and
yeah,
long suffering. So it's like if you're gonna give up on this person so easily,
easily,
you know,
right.
how do you expect to sustain a marriage? And so
Marriage.
it's like, oh my goodness, well, this man is bringing this to the table and he's
Yeah,
this. So
not realizing
give
that
him
it shouldn't
another
be that
chance.
hard.
No, it shouldn't. And like you said, if it's this difficult for us to be together and life hasn't happened,
Yeah,
then God help us.
God
So
help us, right? And we too old to be doing that now.
listen,
We too old to be giving people chances. If they, it's like it's like it'll stress you out, raise your blood pressure. You ask them. So are we just seeing each other, right? Or we just you're dating and you can go okay, yes, okay, and then you find out they seeing two or three other people, and it's like that's a lie you didn't have to tell.
right.
And why didn't
Be
I
honest.
asked you directly? I
Mhm.
asked you. You asked me. I asked you. And so why you feel like you have to lie like that? That don't. And I've run into that time and time again, and that's why I opted out because I said I can't. I'm not doing this. I have a choice. I don't like it. Why am I participating? I'm not.
Okay.
So,
He's like, next.
and I ain't gonna have nobody calling my phone asking who I am, sending me messages asking who I am,
Okay.
things like
Smart no.
I'm not doing that. I don't want nobody busting the windows out of my car.
Over
If you get,
stupidity.
yeah,
Right. Absolutely. So those chances, under what conditions would you be willing to give someone a second or a third chance? Because there is such a thing as grace. There is such a thing as um I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. Like we all have baggage
mm-hmm.
and we all have luggage, right? Hopefully you're carrying luggage because that's productive. The baggage is the stuff that you're trying to stuff in your luggage that you really don't need to be carrying, right? And it's heavy. So given that at this particular juncture, right, thinking of our age, folks got a lot of stuff going on. So what if somebody said to you, look, I got a lot of stuff going on. So I need to recalibrate and maybe let's start again, Give me
If
another
it,
first chance to and see what happens. Would you be willing to do that?
yes, if we had a long, open, and if we not, we had an open and honest conversation. I just need honesty because we all have our things, right? And we
Yes.
all have things that we all have deal breakers and deal makers, and we have things that we like, we dislike, and nobody's perfect. I'm gonna do something that's gonna kind of piss you off. You're gonna do something to piss me off, but do I stay that way, or do I say, you know what? I need to understand motivation, and I need to
Yes.
understand what your intentions are towards me and how you really feel about me. So if I love you and you love me and we are honest with each other, I think it can be okay.
What if
So
it is? I mean, what
I
if you
would give.
haven't got to love yet, though? What if you haven't got to love? Like literally,
Oh,
you went out with this person, you're like, okay, there's a vibe. You're like, okay, all right. You get it. We got something to talk about. He wasn't showing his food nasty. Okay. And, and
you know,
you had a good time, but maybe there was some a gap in time, maybe that you were seeing each other, or the phone calls weren't regular, or something that made you say, you know what, maybe this is not it. And the person says, look, I really, I'm digging you, and I would like to see you again, but I know, I dropped the ball or whatever. Would you give them another chance?
Actually, that just happened to me. And
Oh
so,
wow.
yeah, I was seeing a really nice man earlier this year. I mean, he
Okay.
was gentleman, really polite. He said I was really into him, and he was really into me. We liked each other. First date, we went to breakfast and ended up. I always make plans like later on in the day so I can say I have something else to do and not be lying. So
Mm,
he had plans too, so he had to leave, but we didn't want to leave each other. And we had the nicest time, and it was a few months, and then he said, I got some things I need to work on with me. I was like, well, wait a
okay.
minute, I thought I was working on a boyfriend. And he said, well, no, I can't really give you that right now. And
Okay. Isn't that interesting?
I said, okay, all right, all right. So in every couple months he'll check in, and I just like, what, whatever. I liked him. But I was just like, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, and I'm not gonna ask questions. That's, you are who you are. I still like you. I'm not gonna stop talking to you because, I'll still respond when you reach out. So he
Hmm.
reached out, and he said, you found love yet? And what I wanted to say was nigga, but what I said, you know what? I'm loving on me. My baby girl moved back
Okay.
home
Yep.
after
I got
college.
all this love right here.
I said I can take myself anywhere I want. I got my sisters, I got my
Okay.
friends. I said my life is full of love. Yes, I said, but most importantly, I'm loving on me. And I said, and I'm not dating any. I'm not dating right now. I've opted out, and it's, and I'm okay with that decision. And he was like, okay, then. So when he called early this week actually, and he said, and what he said was, he said I really liked you. And I knew that he said, and I just wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do yet, or where. He said, he said, because I know you're the kind of person, and I never told him this, but this is what he said. He said, I know you're the kind of person, if I'm inconsistent, or if I'm trying to be in and out, or I do something that you don't really care for, you're just going to leave me alone, and that's going to be it. And he said, and I didn't want you to do that. He said, and also I care about you. So I don't want, he said, I didn't want to, hurt your feelings or do anything that would be that you would consider so bad that you didn't want to be bothering me again. So he said, I told you the truth. And he did tell me the truth. I mean, that was the truth. He
Hmm.
said, so I just kind of backed away. He said, but now I think maybe I make the wrong decision? I said, well, I don't know if you made the wrong decision or not. I really don't know.
Mm,
And he said, why don't you let me take you out? I was like, okay, now of course, yeah, I'm going out with you. But
right. But okay, so what's going to be different? So what's going to be different this time?
what's gonna be different is we'll just really talk about what we want, because we got into a little bit about what he wanted and what I wanted, and so I mean, we can just see. And intimacy doesn't have to be a part of that process.
Okay.
You can just get to know somebody. And for me, I call myself the queen of first and second dates, because intimacy is not a part of the process. It takes me a long time to get to the point where I'm going to be intimate with somebody. I have to really have that trust built in those things. So
Hmm.
it's a little bit easier for me to let somebody go in those early stages than it was for me for the 3 year man. It took me a year to let that go.
Thank
So it's like this hard, because I
you.
was used to him. I loved him, and we spent time together. We knew each other, and it was like, oh, he gone. Wake up in the morning, he gone. First it was like, and then it was like, he go. I can't. And then I think about something that make me think. They'll make me think about him. And
Right.
oh yeah, I
Hmm.
forgot.
No.
I'm supposed to be, going just letting it go, because I can't. I'm not the kind of person who, if I'm really into somebody, I can't keep. We can't be like friendly. We can be friendly, but we can't be like still texting one another and calling each other, because
Right.
I'm gonna end up right back where I was before. So if I'm supposed to be moving on, I need to move on.
You got
And,
to
and,
keep
to, and
it
to circle
moving.
all the way back and answer your question is, why do we take people back? Is because I think we want to we want to see, well, is it gonna work?
Hmm.
Maybe it'll work this time. Maybe I could be different. Maybe I can fix myself. And maybe, maybe, but that person is still who they are, and ultimately you're still at the root, you're still incompatible, and it's still not going to work. So because that person is who they are, and you are who you are, and you may just be friendly. So.
Okay. Like I said, cordial. Like I said, we can't still hang out because that
Yeah,
friend zone is the
yeah.
devil.
I
I'm gonna
need
just say that.
firmly defined boundaries. I don't, and and I told so going back and forth to San Francisco, I met a
Mhm.
gentleman who had been a CFO at a major corporation for like he had worked there for 25 years and he had been the CFO for 8 or 9 years. So
Okay.
he was wealthy, divorced, uh,
Okay.
was into me. He told me I want to spoil you, and girl, I actually got excited.
You want to spoil? You want to
I
spoil?
said, "You want to spoil me?" He said, "Yes, I want to spoil you." So I mean, he said all the right things, and he was a nice looking man. I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was real
"Ooh."
right
I
there.
mean, he has the means to do what he has means to do everything that he said he was going to do. So I really did get excited, and so we
Okay.
went out. And he was asking me questions about dating, and I said some people date one way. I said I've been, and he had only been divorced for about 2 years, and he
Okay.
had been married for 30. So I was
Ooh.
like, I was
Okay. So
cautious a little
yeah,
bit. I
he
was like,
wasn't.
I don't know if that's enough time for him to have been single,
No.
but he is in his late 50s. So I was
Okay.
thinking, okay, maybe I was thinking maybe he's used to being married. He wants to be with somebody, but he says, I said, I don't, I said, right now I'm not really dating. I said, but I would love to get to know you. Like you said, you wanted to spoil me. I said, you said you wanted to get to know me. So we're talking, and this is my conversation now.
Hmm.
Whereas 12 years ago, it was not my conversation. But
No.
my conversation now is I'm because people will call you at 7 o'clock in the morning and 10:30, 11 o'clock at night and take your time and take your time and want visits and things like that. So I need to know who the person and I already have enough going on in my life. So
Yeah.
if I have this, I've got a job. I'm co-chair of a nonprofit board. Got my still got my kids that I'm loving on and doing things for, and I have my family and I have friends and I have other a musician and do so many other things. So when someone comes into my space, I need to be sure that there's going to be some kind of reward because I'm investing. So I need to know, all right, so if I'm taking your call at 7 and you wake me up, am I going to be able to do the same for you if you need, if
That part.
reciprocal, so I don't want to be playing around with somebody. It's not,
Hmm.
we're not going to be invested in each other, whether it doesn't have to be marriage, but can I depend on you? And you can depend on me, but can I depend on you? What we're doing all of this, or are you just trying to find somebody to do something with and listen to you
Right. Because
and
you're
give you
bored
something you not
or you need
exactly?
attention or
Yeah,
something.
because people will do that. So
Yeah.
I'm asking. So I asked, and I told him. I said, I'm not dating. I said, but I don't have a problem coming to visit you, and because he's in San Francisco. I said, I don't have a problem coming to visit you. My office is here. I work remotely. I said, we can spend time together. That's not the distance is not a barrier. I said, it really boils down to, are you interested in me enough for us to do this? And so
Hmm.
he was like, he said, I am. And I said, well, I tell you, and this is my joke. My daughters laugh at me when I say this. I told him, I said, if we do it, we go together. So I'm not looking I'm not looking,
You
I'm
say,
not looking,
you
I'm
need to
not,
know if
yeah,
that,
you
then we
need
go
to know up
together.
front. And I don't have a problem with that, but and that helps weed out people.
It
Because if I don't
does.
hear from you again, then okay, no love
Then I
lost.
know. Then
And you
I
know
know.
where I stand. We're not going back and forth. And you wonder is it? And I told him, I said, it takes me a while to get used to somebody. I said, I'll do a lot of things for you, but that will have to wait for a little bit because I'm not interested in doing that. Um,
Go with the physical
yeah, the
intimacy.
the physical right away. So, and
Okay.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the next person, maybe I'll feel like that, but that's typically not how I feel. So, I have to like really get to know somebody, really get to know them, and then that happens. But or feel like I know them.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
And and there's some merit in that. One of the things we were talking about too, is how disposable people are treating people now. So,
yeah.
like you
And
said,
I'm one
it's
of those
an
people. I can't
investment
handle
of
that.
time. It's an investment of time. And I've seen it where um you spend a lot of time, you invest a lot of energy, you invest a lot of feelings,
Hmm.
um, resources, and one disagreement and the person just vanishes. And you're like, really? Is that what we do? So there's not going to be a conversation for you to exit the same way you introduced yourself and pursued me. We're
Yeah.
not going to have even a business, right? We have an exit interview, right? So why are you
Right. It's like
quitting? We
something.
need to know,
Yeah.
why are you quitting? So why are you not talking to me anymore?
Yeah.
Why is this not salvageable? and people not being willing to do that. And so I think there is some merit in waiting on the physical part, because that is a whole nother layer, right,
Mm-hmm.
that enters in. And so I think that makes it more difficult for you to make some decisions about the quality of the relationship. It makes it difficult for you to step back, because it's like, wow, I've already given that part of myself
Yeah, and
to
I'm
this
and
person.
I'm like
So
I'm attached.
yeah, so I need to sit here a little bit longer. Um, and then just the ability to accept if they walk away from you. So you really need to be intentional about it. And I know some people feel like, well, we're grown. We should be able to, well, should be able to, and able to is two different things.
Yeah.
And then there's still this double standard. And I do hear men saying this of all age groups. There's a camp of men who are like, physical intimacy is what it is. It's a way of getting to know somebody. It's a way of us communicating to one another. And then there's some men who still feel like, well, if you gave it up that easy for me. So if the physical intimacy comes too soon, if you did that so
Yeah.
soon with me, it's not special. Maybe you do this with everybody. And then there's
And
this kind of underlying message that now you have reduced your, you know,
so-called
reduced your
value.
level of
Yeah.
respect and your value. Yeah, by doing that.
And the reason why I need to take time to get to know somebody, because I don't like that second group of men. I don't care for them at all, and that usually ends in disaster. So I want to make sure that I'm dealing with the first one, who sees it as a natural part of a relationship, and it's not a big deal, and it's what we do, and we enjoy each other, and but not like she this or that. It's like,
Yep,
okay, so we're over, we're at this age. That shouldn't even be a part of the
it really
vocabulary
should.
at this
It
point,
really
because
should.
nobody has time to waste. But I do need to know that there's a certain level of respect and care, and that you have for me before, and then because you're not gonna. The 3 year man, he didn't ghost me. He was honest with me, and he said,
Okay.
this is where I am, and this is what this is, and this is what I can't do, and this is why.
So
And
that was nice.
I had to go sit with that. I was like,
So
I
he
had to
said,
sit with the
so
fact that
from the beginning, so you saying from the beginning, you all were not on the same page as
no,
far
actually we
as,
were, because I didn't know what I wanted.
okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
didn't know what I wanted. So I was just like, I enjoy spending time with him. I was attracted to him. He was attracted to me. So it was that's what it started out as. And then we both developed deeper feelings, and it was, but it wasn't something that was practical, especially for him. I was like, I can change. I was thinking, and I was thinking, okay, we could, or it could be this, because it wasn't like I wanted to get married, but I
mm,
just I did want more from him. And when he started to realize that, he was like, well,
mm,
and then he laid everything out for me. And so, but it was my choice. I had to. I was the one who had to peel back, because he wasn't gonna peel back. Because if I kept going back, I would just kept going back.
yep,
And I
because
just
he
had
had nothing to lose. He had nothing to
yeah.
lose. He was still
Because
gonna be
he's
okay.
like, well, I've been honest, so there was nothing on his part, because he was honest, and I really, I mean, that's how he felt. That's what he told me.
And
So
he
it was
was
up to
honest
me to.
about what? So what did he say he wanted? So you didn't know what you wanted, but what did he want?
Well, he had a he's at a point in his life where there's no he'd been married twice,
Okay.
and there was no, and he wasn't even wanting he wasn't wanting something that would uh tie him down.
Okay. Okay.
Couldn't, didn't want to be tied down. And that's how I felt in the beginning. I was
Okay.
like, I don't this. And then I was like, and then I said, okay, this thing has changed me, because now I realize I do enjoy being with somebody. And so I
Consistently.
started off I
Mhm.
started off not knowing what I wanted. It was just like, okay, I'm tired of being by myself. This is a nice man. We're gonna spend time together. And then it was like, hmm. And then both of us were like, but
He said,
but
maybe, maybe.
reflecting though, a year and a half later now, it was just like, it was a good experience, because I found out what I wanted. I mean, he was nice. He was nice to me. He was good to me. I can't say he wasn't. And it was just, it's like, okay. And then I realized, okay, I actually do know now. I know what I want. So I want him. 2.0.
There
So
you go. There you
somebody
go.
like him who would be okay with committing. And but it wasn't a waste of time. It wasn't. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about uh, what I liked, what I, so it was because I was married, then I didn't have any relationships, and then I had this thing with him, and it was like, okay, okay. And so now I'm like, okay, so I like it. I like it. I like it. I could do this. I could do this with somebody. So that was my biggest takeaway. I actually can do this with somebody.
See?
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
Right. On my own terms. And I think that's
Yeah,
sometimes is why
yeah,
we like
yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah.
flip
And
to
it doesn't
something
have to be
else.
so rigid. It can be more fluid.
Yes.
You don't have to have rigid rules because with him, he and I, we didn't have like rigid rules. There weren't like rigid rules of this and that. He didn't bother me about stuff. I didn't bother him about stuff. So it was just kind of nice to be respected and to be free. And so I was like, okay, I could do this with. It was just I hadn't really met anybody who I could be myself with.
Uh-huh.
And so that was key too. So and that's why I say I'm looking for somebody who gets excited about me. He was excited about me. I was excited about him.
The
So okay,
real you.
so somebody can get excited about me.
The
Okay,
real
okay,
you.
okay.
And
Yeah,
I
and
think
somebody
again
can
that's
explain. They can articulate the reasons why something isn't working. Because sometimes people don't even talk about what's not working. So like with the
mhm.
guy earlier this year, when when he called and he broke everything down. I was like, okay, okay. And I appreciate that. I appreciate some because then it's my decision of whether or not do I want him to take me out. Yeah, I'm gonna go out with him. But I do have the option to say no. I don't want to go out with you no more. So it's it's my decision, and I get to say yes or no to whatever. And that's not something that I thought much about. And when I was younger, I would let the other person dictate the
Oh
relationship.
yeah. I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think we were taught that. It's like,
Hmm.
well, like so somebody
Yeah.
asks you, then well, it's a yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
You're not
Not
gonna
the
say
right.
no. Why would you
Right.
say no?
Yeah, we
And
weren't taught that we had choices. It's just like, well, this good
choosing,
man talking to you, this good man is interested in you. You better. Now it's like, well, he's a good man, but I'm gonna let the person who should be with him be
right?
with him.
Maybe he's a good man for somebody else. Or like or negotiating things and saying what it is I need. I don't think
Hmm.
that's again something else. It's like, okay, what is this person offering you? And then,
Hmm.
oh, okay, well then I should accept that. But you coming to the table saying that these are needs that I have, or these are things that I'm aspiring to have in a relationship. It's like, oh no. So you're expecting so much. You have all these expectations. You're gonna run people away. And it's like, no, the only people you're gonna run away are people who you're not suited to be with.
With
That's
exactly, and it's
yeah.
okay. It's all right to let them go, and it's just like it's a whole bunch of more people. It's a lot. There are a lot of more people out there. There are a
Oh
lot more
no,
people
they
out
have you
there.
thinking there's not, especially for
Hmm.
us. It's like it's not that many men because it's more women than men, which is true. But
It's true, but
however,
that doesn't mean that we're not gonna find somebody. And that's the worst thing that you can tell you. Well, you ain't gonna find nobody else. I had men, and the reason why I was just celibate, not dating, and doing anything for a good part of my 40s is because men would have the nerve to tell me, "You ain't gonna find nobody with them." Once I got out of my head about the kids and I became more confident, you ain't gonna find nobody to deal with you and them kids. Well,
nope.
somebody gonna have to take care of you. And by that time, I was already making really good money, so I didn't need anybody to take care of me. I needed
Hmm.
somebody to take care of me emotionally and to really, and that's what the last man did that I was talking about. I just felt emotionally cared for, and he just really filled that need for me
And
too.
that's so valuable.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah. So
valuable.
yeah, he was like
And
my
people
safe
don't
space. I
realize
talked to him
that.
about anything. My father had COVID, and he just held me, and it was nice. It was
Like I
just
said, the
really nice.
safe space.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
invaluable.
exactly,
I gotta
exactly.
read some of these comments. Hold on, because you're missing
Yeah.
this. So Casanova, our one guy that's in here, look, do me a favor. Those of you who are watching, please like this, okay, and share it. We need some more folks in here who are aware of this broadcast. I would appreciate your support. So if you're watching, even on the replay, make sure you're liking this and sharing this right on your page or sending a link to your friends. I would appreciate it, okay? And subscribe to the channel, right? So you get the notifications when we go live. But Casanova's in here. He's preaching a whole sermon. So I just want to
What do you
read
say?
some of the stuff that he's saying. This is his name, Casanova. I'm not calling him a name. His name is Casanova. That's one of my music friends. And
Okay.
so he said he's looking to get married within 3 years to someone that will be a blessing So no time to play. When that person comes along, one of us is getting buried in this one. So he's like, he's waiting until it's that person and it's until death. Okay. And then he said, in the beginning to the end, women choose whom they sleep with and have kids by. We decide whom we marry. Woo!
Hmm.
That's a rough one. But in closing, begin the age I know. Oh, he says he knows within 7 minutes if that person is worth the bother.
Hmm.
So he can kind of vet them in about 7 minutes and know,
Oh, wow.
yep, I need to invest more time or not. He was saying earlier, some people go back to a person because they just have it in them to deal with what's familiar to them and they feel more safe. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can say that. Because I was like, especially when you go out here, and because it's rogue out here in these streets, right? You start playing this, like I said, negotiation game. Well, this person may not have been this and they may not have been that, but at least I know.
At least I know this.
He wouldn't do this, like you're talking about the safety. And that was definitely, how I felt about 5-year guy. It was like, well, at least I knew I was going to be respected. I was going to be treated right, and all those things. I just knew it was going to be a commitment, but it's safe. It's safe. So you sit there. So it sounds like we talked about the things that you have changed. Some of it is understanding what you really want, right? And knowing that you can make that decision, right? That there's some things that I value that maybe I didn't see in my previous relationship. Maybe I didn't see in existing relationships around me, but now because you know yourself better and you've had some experiences, now for me, these are the things that are most important. And these are the things that I need to feel from a person in order to decide I want to invest time and feelings in them. So that's huge, knowing what you want and then articulating that. And that to me, I think was a hard one. First coming to terms with what I wanted, but then feeling strong enough to put it into words and say, hey, in all honesty, this is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
So like Cass put it here, look, I want to be married and I want to be married within 3 years. Like, I'm not trying to be your special friend on your obituary. I'm not trying to, have people not let me, and so I like that he put a timeline on that. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but most definitely being able to say early on and asking that person, so what are your dating goals? What are your relationship goals? Let's get it on the table immediately. So again, we don't waste time or there's no confusion. And don't lie to yourself. Because like I said, sometimes you meet people and they're telling you, I'm not really looking for anything serious. I'm just looking for companionship. And you're like, I don't know, we will be.
Yeah, and if that's what you're also looking for, that works. You two people at the same time look for the same thing like that, then that works. But if you're looking for something else, it's not going to be that.
So being honest with yourself, being honest with the people that you are meeting. How about the kind of dating so how has that changed? Like the kind of dates you go on, the kind of ways that you choose to spend time with the people you're getting to know. How has that changed?
So, doesn't necessarily have to be traditional dating. Like when I was younger, I was like, we always got to go out. We always got to go out. And we always have to do something. I always have to do something. Or we could just go for a walk. It's okay to just go for a walk. It's okay to just have a casual lunch or dinner. It doesn't always have to be something fancy where I'm dressing up. We can just get together. We can run errands together. We can do those things together. So it's just anything where we can spend time together, out together, around other people, and get to know each other. Because I want to know how you are in certain social situations. Maybe you'll be my +1 at the gala. Maybe maybe I'll be the +1 for your work event. Maybe or I'll barbecue and you come over. Or you cook and I come over or something like that. So yeah, something, but at the very beginning, for me now, it has to be, we need to engage in some kind of activity, because I don't want to just sit at the house and do nothing. I don't
Right.
know.
Or sit across the table and like say we're eating or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So doing something active. And
Hmm.
that's something I was talking about yesterday too. Like I said, the day dating, everything doesn't have to be at night.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
do
Yep.
something during the
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Again, so I can get back to what I'm doing or
Doing
whatever.
and you doing, and it's and then we maybe we just meet up for lunch and then we go, because I've done plenty of that,
Hmm.
working remotely. Hey, what you doing? I'm not doing much of anything. You want to go to lunch? Yeah, let's go to lunch. Okay, let's go to lunch, and then we go lunch, talk. Maybe we do a little shopping afterwards. And then we'll go. I'll go home.
And you can
That's
find out so
yeah.
much. I remember telling a guy this and I was like, he was like, well, I
I
gotta
also don't
go.
spend as much time getting ready now either.
Oh, say that.
Just what you see is what you get, and I'm not sorry.
Wow, really?
I'm not sorry. No. If you call me, if we say we're gonna go to lunch, this is what you're gonna get, because this is what I look like 85% of the time.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, you said I cut you off.
No, but I think I think that's a good point. And part of this, it kind of goes with what you're saying. I was it was a guy I was talking to for 12 seconds. And it was the same thing, schedule, it was just hard. Us trying to find time to even get together. And so he was mentioning, that he had to do shopping for his mom or whatever. And I was like, well, I can meet you. Why don't we do that? He was like, we ain't getting married. I said, oh, okay. Say less. You can tell that didn't go very far, right?
Right? You
But
said you
I
just
was
say 12
like, yeah,
seconds.
I mean, I just meet you at the grocery store and to me, you learn a lot about people.
You do. Yes.
You can learn a lot about people,
Mm-hmm.
right? The choices they make, how they take care of themselves or don't, how they feel
Mm-hmm.
about money.
What is he
A
putting in his
lot you
cart?
can find out. Yeah, it's a lot you can find out about. Does he do the self checkout or not? I mean, it's all of those things. But
Oh
he saw that as we a couple. You trying to do couple stuff.
no.
I'm just trying to authentically get to know you. But okay, never mind.
Right.
Next. So I like that what you're saying about showing up as your real self. They said who you are 85% of the time. And so much of the time we don't do that, right? We front load, you know, the full face, full outfit or whatever. And then as time goes on, we drill back and
And
it's
see,
less and less and less and less. And then we get to how we normally function.
and
Then
see, I'm,
they're like, okay, maybe you really like me now. So now I can let you. No, I'm just saying. I mean,
no, it's the truth.
and don't you think again that was indoctrination,
Yes, because I
right?
used
Put
that's
your
what.
best foot forward. You only have one time to make a first impression, and so you're supposed to ta-da. And
Yep.
then now that you got him, now it's oh shoot, I ain't gotta do all that no more.
Yeah. And that's why I do the opposite,
And that's
because
the worst.
and I don't do dinners as first dates anymore, because then I have to do makeup and hair and do all and find no, a first date, we either just gonna get together and walk, we're gonna get together and we're gonna
Telling you,
talk, we're gonna
coffee,
lunch, coffee
breakfast.
even, or breakfast or something. If you want a meal, we don't even have to have a meal. We can just meet at the cafe. We can go to a museum. We can go somewhere where we can actually have a conversation. And this is what I'm going to look like. And I'm going to wear comfortable shoes, and you're going to see me looking like this, acting like I normally act. And then if you want the dolled up version, you're going to have to make an investment of time, and you're going to have to make it just give me something to work with. But I'm not going to spend hour and a half getting ready, outfits and all those things to get ready for a date that I
And
don't
then
even
it's
know. I'm not going to do it. And I think it's the same thing like with men taking women out on these really
absolutely.
expensive dates for the first date. Don't do that.
Yep.
You just
$100,
don't need to do that.
$150, and you're not even sure,
And you're not even sure. That doesn't make any sense. So, just save your money, save your effort. Because one guy, he was like, I want to take you out. I was like, we maybe, okay, we'll get to that. I liked him. So I was like,
Mhm.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But let's just get to know one another and see
Okay.
if we can sit through a meal together. Because I used to
Oh
travel
my
for work a
God.
lot. And men would see me in the hotel at the hotel bar. Let me take you to dinner. And at first I was excited. I was like, oh, this will be nice. So we go to dinner.
Okay.
And sometimes I'd be sitting there like, why am I could be cutting my toenails or anything. It's just because is that I do
Listen.
not want to be here. And so then I was like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm not doing this no. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not because I would have taken. I would have at the client site and then rushing back to my hotel and then taking the cab over to where we're supposed to meet. And it's just, and I'm kind of stressed out from trying to get from work to the date. And I'm like, and then it's not even a good conversation.
And then it's not,
Oh.
oh, the man's up there, like I told you, was it chewing, something chewing like a woman? I was like, oh, he was. I said, maybe he's got a secret. And then had his pinky up while he was slicing his food. I want to say, girlfriend, and you trying
Right.
to, I mean, oh, yeah. So Cass, I think this he said first date, walk in the park, second date, coffee, third date, picnic. After that, we can mix it with whatever. Yep, absolutely. And that's not the dynamics, it's the dramatics saying what you see is what you get. You know better. Come on, music friend. But yeah, he's agreeing with you. Yeah, what you see is what
Yeah, what you see is what you
bring the
get. Yep.
real you. Bring the real
Mhm.
you to the table. So this is the other pet peeve I have about what I see on Facebook a lot, in particular, is women who will post food, you know, and so, oh, this girl can cook and blah, blah, blah. And, you're trying to entice the men. And I've had a couple of people inbox me, right, when I would post my food. And it's like, oh, you working on trying to get a husband, or you gonna get a husband soon. You keep posting food like that. I'm just like, really? I said, every once in a while I fix something and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of proud of it. I really did some plating or whatever. But I've seen women do that, because they're trying to hook, oh, I'm moving myself up and down. That's crazy. They're trying to hook a man.
Yeah, I'm not trying
Way
to
to
hook
a man's
anybody
heart
when I
is through
post.
his stomach.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
like, if you
I have
cook,
gotten when I post food, I do get men asking me out. You want to cook for me? You want to cook for me? You gonna cook for me?
oh
You gonna
God,
cook that for me? And
what's
you
for
know what?
dinner?
If I
I
if
hate
I
that.
think he's
What's for dinner?
if I think he's cute and funny,
Leftovers.
look, if I think he's cute and funny, he can come over dinner.
He said, you okay with it?
Uh-huh.
I'm
My
fine.
daughter,
I'm
my,
fine
my
with that,
daughter's here. My daughter's here. He ain't gonna get far. My daughter's here, so
but
I
I'm
can.
just saying that's fine. I think what I'm saying is if you are misrepresenting
Yeah, because I
um
ain't gonna tell nobody I'm gonna cook for you
what
5 days a week
kind of
because I'm
cook
not.
you are,
I'm not.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I'm not
So
doing that.
like I would, so when I get those inboxes, I'm like leftovers or whatever you saw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You're not cooking nothing else today. And then I've had some of them flip out on me. And well, that's why you're single. See, that's what's wrong. Women don't cook anymore. I was like, whatever. There's why would I, as a single woman, be cooking a pot roast with potatoes and carrots and everything, and a German chocolate cake and some collard greens and some biscuits? And why am I cooking all of that on a Tuesday when it's me? Why would I be doing
Exactly. I do it on a Sunday, and I'll bring you
exactly?
some food to keep you for a couple days if you like my cooking like that. So I'll do
Exactly.
that. But as far as standing at the stove every day cooking,
I'm
I
gonna
don't do
cook on
that
a
for myself. So no, I'm
holiday.
not gonna do that for
Exactly.
anybody.
But I've
Those
seen
days are
people do
over.
it to try to show that, I'm wifey material. And then you get the person and then they're like, dang, why she don't cook? Because she never cooked in the first place. She was doing that to impress you. And so we have to be careful with that. So I have the ability to cook, but
Yes,
I don't want to give you the impression that
that's what you're gonna.
this is going to be Cracker Barrel up in here every day. Now, again, we're a couple. Now,
Right.
hear me out, because I don't want anybody to share this link and be like, dang, Dr. Kim said she ain't going to cook for her man at all. Okay. Now, we're together
Yeah.
and we're spending every day together now.
Right.
Sister,
Because we gotta eat.
I'm going to have to pull some things together. But I'm saying, and I'm probably going to do differently because now it's a man involved. He may not want to eat a tuna sandwich.
Right.
I throw some in the microwave, I'm fine. So he may not want to do that. So we're spending time together now, on a daily. his place or my place or whatever, yeah, then I think that might evolve. Okay, well, now I gotta start putting some meals
Yeah.
together. He's coming over here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna give him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that I might eat. So yeah, I'll throw something together. Sure. That's not a problem for me. But I had somebody doing that. We were in the talking stages, and he was wanting me. I'm supposed to bring the groceries to your house, cook them, and leave you leftovers and put them in the Tupperware. I said, this is not, I'm not Seattle Sutton. This ain't Meals on Wheels. And you still talking about, yeah, like we're a possibility. You're not claiming me as your girl,
And I just spent 3 hours in the kitchen cooking for the week.
but you want me to be over here cooking for you on a daily, and you texting me before you leave work. So what you make today? Nothing. It's leftovers. I mean, I still had a lot from yesterday. What? That's lunch. You got to fix something else. You're not offering any groceries. And like I said, not even offering a commitment. And I'm supposed to do all of this for you. And then it was like, well, that's what's wrong. See, women, y'all want a husband. Y'all want somebody to step up and show you who they are, but you're not willing to show that you're worthy. And it's just like,
worthy. Oh, I hate that word, because it's like it's like the men that I'm attracted to, who I get along with, they tell the guy from earlier this year, he said, when you're with me, you don't have to open your legs or your wallet.
oh,
And that's what he says. And the other man I was talking about, it wasn't it wasn't that I would cook for him, he'd feed me, and we never had those conversations like that because that was just kind of crazy to me.
very
And
crazy.
I don't even know why you even worth value cooking. He didn't care whether I cooked or not. He would ask me, I would say, you want me to cook? He was like, oh, I would love to have one. I would guess I would love for you to cook. Would you? And that made me feel like, oh, okay, you want me to cook? I'm going to cook. And that's it. But he didn't want it all the time, so it wasn't like he would get in the kitchen and cook, and he could cook for me. So it wasn't like,
and that's a man that understands women.
yeah.
So and that's what got me so mad, because I'm like,
we shouldn't even be having these conversations.
You're gonna give.
And worth and value, and man, sit down. You're not who I want anyway.
Period.
Let me just move on.
Period. But right. Yeah, that value. And I was like, if mature men understand, and if you're not a mature man, listen and take a note. Mature men understand that if you are if treating a woman well, meaning you are making her feel safe, making her feel valued, you're making her feel, what did you say? He's excited about you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's going to return that favor.
Exactly.
She's going to give that back to you, unsolicited.
Yep.
Just because you make her feel some kind of way. So just like, my kids will tease me. Oh, they know I'm in love when I start baking. Now I'm a cook. But if I start, getting out my frosting bags, like my baker, I'm putting on the frost. And I'm
now that's me. I learned how to make banana pudding because he liked it.
Listen, okay, and I'm putting the walnuts and sprinkling this. Oh, she in love.
He said, "What's your favorite dessert, banana pudding?" Okay, let me find it. Okay. And just because I want to make the other person happy,
I just want to make him smile. I just want, oh, baby, you thought about me. You ain't got to ask me for that.
That's something I learned too.
I'm gonna make sure you're smiling.
Just to be good to somebody for the sake of being good to them.
That's it.
I don't have to have an ulterior motive. I don't want to have him marry me. We don't have to do X, Y, Z. I want to be good to you because you're good to me. And that's really, it really is that simple.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
What do you like? What do you like?
Want to put you through the paces. It's like these tests. Mm-hmm. So if she does this, if she does that, if she does this, then she's wifey material. And same thing, I see women doing it. And or one of my longest friends, we know each other since grammar school. We were talking about that the other day. That she had a friend who was telling her to test her guy. This is way back when they first got together. Well, you got to make sure this man really up. So you need to give him a situation, so he'll and see what he'll do.
Mm-mm.
Now, here's what I say about that. I think if you're spending time with someone and occasions come up in your life, right? you are kind of watching, okay, how will he respond to that? But as far as me making up something just to see
Yeah.
what you're gonna do, that's very contrived. And like I said, if you
Yeah.
look for trouble, you're gonna find it.
You're gonna
So I
find it.
would never advise that. But definitely if something has happened, oh my gosh, okay, I had a flat tire and
Mm-hmm.
I call you
Yeah.
and you say, hey, are you good? You got AAA or whatever. Yeah, I'm calling. Okay, I'll stay on the phone till they come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now, okay, couple days, you know what? We need to go take care of that tire before we run the Cracker Barrel or wherever it is we're going. Okay, now you've shown me you have some care about me. That's the provision. I didn't say he was buying the tire. Didn't say he was buying the tire, but I definitely said, okay, that's on his agenda that he knows that's something that needs to be taken care of. Now, if he buys the tire, yay, that's not the expectation, but just that you know that's something that now I will, is on my agenda to do, and you're concerned about it. I learned how to bake sweet potato pies because he likes them. Yup. I'm cooking. I love you because I don't like cooking. And that's what I'm saying. I don't cook anymore like that. Like I said, it's
Mm-hmm.
just me. But if I have somebody in my life, yeah, I'll start throwing a chicken up in there and some mashed some potatoes.
Right.
And
Yep.
it just comes. And it just comes. I was like, they know they still talk about that to this minute. This was 5-year guy, right? And we were long distance at that point. And he wasn't eating. He kept telling me he was going to Popeyes and he would get off work and he was going to Burger King. I was, well, that's terrible. And then he was staying
Right.
sick too. So well, I'm gonna send some food down there. I'm gonna surprise him. So I made a week's worth of food, froze it, put it on ice, shipped it overnight. It
Oh,
was on this. I know, right?
that
Because
was sweet.
I was in love. Like,
I know when you're really into somebody, you do all kinds of stuff, and it's like,
right. I was like, I want him to feel, oh, he don't have to do that. And I got you. And I want, I didn't want him to be sick and all of that. And it was like, girl, you're doing too much. I had them all the individual containers. All he had to do was put them in the freezer, take them out when he would get in, put it in the microwave. All my best stuff, my tamale pie,
mm-hmm.
which I'm famous for. Don't anybody ask for it, but my tamale pie, which will change your life, and other things. But yeah, that's what you do. He
Yeah.
never would have asked me for that. He was really kind of upset. I don't believe you did that. And then knowing how much that cost to ship it, and it was like, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Of
Yep,
course
the
you are.
messages after they eat it, I really enjoyed that. And it's just like those small things, just like thank you and a thank you. It's just okay. You makes you want to do it.
And
And
it
to
warms your heart.
and one of the things you said about what changed. So years ago, I would have been very rigid. Like if I'm not in a relationship, I don't want to see you. But when I met him, I was like again because I didn't know what I wanted, and I just didn't want to be by myself.
Hmm.
And he was nice. And I thought, okay, we could, all right. So let's just see. So it was an experiment for me in many ways. It's
Hmm.
like, so can I actually do this? Because I heard of people doing things like that before, having friends and really good friends that you spend time with. And I thought, well, is that, huh? And we had been and so it was just like, is it, huh? So thinking, no, knowing that's what it was, and I was like, I ain't in no shape to be getting married or even wanting a boyfriend. But then, of course, I started wanting a boyfriend. I wanted him to be my boyfriend. But
Hmm.
I think that way of getting to know someone and seeing someone and dating someone, I think that I mean that was just a really good experience for me. But always recognizing that that's what it was. I called him my sweetie. So and he didn't have problem. It was reciprocal.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it wasn't so it would but it was something that I wouldn't have done when I was younger.
Oh no.
And you know how and so as I get older, I'm like, I'm less rigid, more
Hmm.
fluid, and I gained something from it. So I did gain something from it. It was what it was. I gained something from it. I realized ultimately, okay, I know what I want now. And then I was able to once he ended it, then I was like, okay, so let me but it's something that like a couple of friends of longtime married friends were like, I'm glad you did that because they encouraged me to, and I was like, well, no, I can't do that, and I can't be with somebody if I'm not with them like that, and but it really did work well for me. It
Yes.
worked really well for me because I was still working and doing my own thing, and it just worked, you know. And
And
I,
not
and I
only
was
that,
like,
like
I
I said,
see,
the value. I mean,
yeah,
you know that from being married. And again, I'm not sure that that's something that was stressed when we were maturing,
Mm-hmm.
right, or
Yeah.
going through our growing up years, to choose a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was all about love. It was
Yep.
all about love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, having been married, having come back into this dating life where people are wanting to take it in these stages. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we're
Yeah.
friends first, and now hearing all of the literature saying it's best to establish a friendship first,
Mm-hmm.
seeing the merit in that. But I never understood that as a young woman. It's like, well, how are you
Yeah.
gonna be friends with a
Friends
man
with some, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
unless he's a bust down, you know? But you got somebody fine, you're attracted to him. How am I gonna be his friend? Why would I want to
To
be
be his
his
friend.
friend,
Yep. Yep.
right? And then even now, you still have to be careful in being clear that, you know, I'm attracted to you, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do this getting to know, because I don't want to be friend zoned either.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person doesn't see me as a
As a potential
potential,
part.
you
Yeah.
know, right, a potential partner or somebody to date. So again, being honest, but that friendship piece, like you're saying, so important, strongly overlooked. Um, you know, as a younger person, and now knowing it has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't hang, if I don't like you,
Yeah.
I don't need to be loving you.
Yep, because
Period.
anything can happen. The physical at our age, the physical part can go downhill very quickly due to an illness or an injury or something like that. And it's just a natural. And some people like they have like a stronger sex drive, and other people have a not so strong. And then men can go through certain things, and women can go through certain things. And but you have to have that foundation to actually get you through some of those challenges.
Just
So.
get you, I would think, I mean, just get you through life. There's so many more challenges in society now than it was when we were married. I've been
Hmm.
divorced since
Yeah.
2011. Um, life has changed a lot. Uh-oh. Are you still there?
Uh-huh. You can you see me?
I can. There's a
Okay.
call coming through.
Okay.
I have to call you back. Anyway, um, I said I would be off at 8. I didn't realize it was after 8.
Oh, okay.
We just been talking.
We just so you
But
have.
but there's so many more challenges in the world that weren't there.
Hmm.
You know, I'm just
And then
saying
you got
years
social
ago.
media. You were
And
talking
so
about that earlier.
that's what I'm saying. Like you're talking about the choices. There's just so many, there's so much stimulus from the outside world. So if I'm not fully invested in this person, heart, mind, soul, it's gonna be just that much harder to stay focused and to stay committed. So again, not just, oh, you know, I love him. This is, we're an us. And I know that's one of the things I wrote in my narrative. I want an us.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not even a question. And part of that has to be the friendship. If that's my
Hmm.
go-to person, we have things that we do that's distinctly us. And so whether somebody comes up to me who is more attractive or has more going on financially, that's not even compare to the us, what we have
What we
between
have.
us. Yeah.
Yep. I want to know that I want to be in a place where I stop looking, and I want you to be in a place where you stop looking too. Not stop appreciating a woman's beauty or something. Not that. Not I ain't never gonna look at it. I don't want him to look at another man. Not that. But
Right.
I'm what he's looking for, or I seem to be what he's looking for. So he's gonna stop for a while and see if it's something that we can keep doing. And I
Exactly.
feel the same. So it's like, is it enough to make you stop looking? Is it enough to make you go, oh? And if it's not that, then a few years ago I would have been like, oh, that's not important. But now it is. Now that's what I want. And
Very
that's another
important.
part of very specific. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I want you
But
to be
like
excited
I
about me. I
couldn't
want you to stop looking.
I couldn't conceive it. I couldn't
Yeah.
conceive it. I'm talking about the whole, like I said, the whole friendship piece. What can I say?
Hmm.
To make a relationship work, be honest in what you want and what you expect. See if they have a sense of humor. Has
Yeah,
to.
they got to be
That's
funny.
definitely high on my list. You can make me laugh. My heart
80,
starts
85 points
opening.
for making me laugh.
Okay. He said, see if they, okay, sense of humor. They like to sing. So that's his. They like to sing, laugh, just busy, out and dance, can be serious and thoughtful. Okay. So I said, he's thought about it. And definitely, like I said, I've thought about it. Kindness for me is high on the list. And that
That's
was
true.
not something,
Kindness, kind and considerate.
kindness. I was like, is he just kind? Is he just a nice, good human being? That's so important to me. What else has changed? So we talked about the way we date, the goals for dating has changed, being able to articulate what we want and how we want to date, realizing that we can choose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just because somebody asks doesn't mean we have to say yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we have to, we're only going to give 20 chances where it's warranted, right?
Yep.
And the person is saying to you, hey, I think, I would like to try this again.
Yeah.
But not just because we're so afraid that another one won't come along
Yes.
or nobody else will want us because of current circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that has to do with how you feel about yourself, where
Mm-hmm.
we date. So we talked about dating differently. Everything doesn't have to be the high-end restaurant. And again, a lot of people want that so you can prove to me that you could take care of me. That's not proving
Yeah.
anything, but you can
Right.
pull a card
That
out.
you can pay for a dinner.
That's it. That's all that's proven. What about, and I want to close on this, what about your approach to meeting someone? So do you feel more comfortable now approaching someone first versus waiting to be approached?
So in that regard, I am. People tell me that I don't look approachable, and
Really?
so usually most of the situations I've been in, I've said, "Hey, I've kind of opened the door first and made I'm interested in you." I've said I'm
Okay.
interested in you, and so most of the situations I've been in have been that. Even my ex-husband, we met, we talked, and I got his number. We exchanged numbers, and I called him under the pretense of wanting something else, and and then he ended up asking me out. And so I was like, okay, but I'll do it either way. I was telling my daughter, I said I'm crushing on somebody now, and I said, but I don't know if I should say anything to him or should I say, because every time I'll be shooting my
Do
shot,
it, do
you know.
it.
but he seems like a really nice man. He's funny. He's successful, and I was thinking, should I say? And I was like, say for now, I'm just gonna
Come
leave it
on,
where
y'all,
it
put
is.
in the chat. Shouldn't she do it?
So
Do it.
it all depends. And men do approach me. Men approach me. They'll on Instagram, Facebook. They'll send me a message, and if they make me laugh, we going out. And they make me laugh and ask me out. We're going.
Okay, so all the comedians need apply, right?
Yes.
You can make her laugh. So you're saying you've always felt comfortable to do that.
Yeah,
That
I
you see
always feel
someone you're
comfortable approaching
interested in,
somebody. Yep.
just
Because
holler at them.
and being a female musician, not just a female singer, but a female musician, I'm very comfortable in the space of men because I play the guitar and men taught me how to play. And they'll tell me when I'm doing well, and if I'm not doing well, they're like, "Now okay, that's you do don't do that no more." And so there's this camaraderie, and I used to play in a church band too, and I've played in
See? Thank you.
different
Would you
church
tell
bands.
us
So
say
it's
something to
different.
that band? Oh,
So it's just different, and you gotta hold your own. You gotta be confident. You gotta be comfortable. And a man isn't gonna a band musician is not gonna compliment you if you're not playing right.
that's true.
They're
That's
gonna
true.
be like, why is she here again?
Okay,
What is
thanks,
she
little
doing?
girl. Move aside.
Right, exactly. You
They gonna
either
hurt
play
your
that thing or
feelings.
go
They
home.
gonna hurt your feelings.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
Either play it or go home. So when I got accepted, and they said, "No, you sound good. You sound nice." So I'm just that space. So I don't have a problem with talking to men like they're regular people and approaching them and letting them know. So it's a don't have that issue at all. And
Okay,
that
so
does
that
have
means
that
you're gonna reach out to your crush then, and Sherry said, "Yep, girl, say something to that man." She told me, I talk to everyone, so approaching someone is a no-brainer. Well, she had to talk to me. The coach sometimes needs help. So I help everybody else. And I'm sitting there I was like, sis, I can't do it. To me, that was it just went against everything ingrained in me. You don't say anything to a man. So I'm like, I'm a
right,
flirt.
right. Mm-hmm.
But usually my smile is enough. Usually if I smile,
You say, here go.
then they come on over. They say to me.
You said,
I was
ain't
like,
my
oh,
smile calling you?
And sometimes my smile gets me in trouble. I'm like, no, I wasn't smiling at you.
Right. I'm like, I wouldn't, no, I wasn't flirting. I wasn't flirting. You think,
And I
oh,
was
let me not smile at
happy
him.
about my cheesecake, and I just happened to look in your direction, so it gets me in trouble. But and then social media. Okay, let me start liking your pictures. You say I'm liking a lot of your pictures. He should know I like him. Now you're supposed to message me, and I'm like, these folks are clueless. I don't understand. And Sherry's like, because a don't get fed. You need to open your mouth, and I'm like, I'm that. She's okay. Well, it keeps up there fussing about, people won't say anything. The people that you want to talk to won't say anything to you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, okay. So it only took Sherry about 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Where I finally was like, so I told you about, like I said, my current situation. I was like, I went to the inbox first. I would never have. I was like, shoot. I was like, I'm gonna let you know. I promise you. I said, this man is a unicorn. How often does a unicorn drop in your lap? So I was like, let me find out.
Yeah.
You find I know God made you on a side. My name is Dr. Kim and yours, Right. Like she said, you're not asking to marry the man. You're just trying to get to know somebody. Right. And I think, again, that's the whole, but that goes back to what we were talking about. Why are you dating? I'm getting to know someone. Everybody is not a potential husband. I can go out with you. We can have a nice time. It doesn't have to be the rest of my life. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. And so the investment isn't as high. Like you're saying, should I say something? Should I not? You just say, hey, I'm digging you. What's going on? You're single. Hey, I'd like to get to know you. No, okay, well, great. Have a great day. You're still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. And it's
no love lost. Yep.
But again, I think it kind of goes back like it was with the sex thing, that I've heard women say that if they approached me at first and after that, they felt like they had leverage because you came after me. You came for me. I ain't come for you. Again, immaturity. That's what you find out. It's not men, it's little boys dressed up as adult men, because most men are flattered. And it's like, the ones that I have approached who were in relationships, it's like, wow, well, I'm seeing somebody. But you know what? I'm really like, wow, I'm flattered that you consider me, or that you noticed me, so it's it's still a win-win. Men are not mind readers. Okay, now she about to get on her soapbox because that's her thing. Sherry, men are not mind readers. They are not.
No, they're not.
But I'll say this: they don't pick up. Not only are they not mind readers, which they've never been, but men do not pick up on the nuances that they once did. Because I promise you, I have never. This is never in my life. I said I've been married twice. Talk to, call a man, invite a man. No, I'm here. You see me. You like me. Okay, good. Like you said, like we said at the beginning. Okay, you like me. We're going to call. We're going to see each other. And that's it. I ain't got to ask you how you feel about me. And like you said, what are we doing? What stage we're in? Are you about to let your hoes go? Is it just gonna be me?
Let's just start seeing each other. Unless it's something that unless you're dead set on, I will only date for marriage. You don't have to do all of that. You can really just enjoy being with somebody.
Exactly,
and that's okay.
And even saying that, because I'll tell people I want to be married. I'm up front, day one. So if that ain't you, run. Go away. And I'll invite you to the wedding. You can put a dollar or something like that. But I don't want to be married. And that took me a long time to realize that, because I thought I would be good. All commitment, I'm great. It's just me and you. And I was like, no, I think I really want that. I want the ultimate commitment. And I have to be honest with myself. No, it might not be popular. That's what I want.
Yeah, and that can change. Just like with me, I didn't know what I wanted, and now I want something solid. But a few years ago, it's like I don't know, because I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I knew I wanted to do things differently. So
and some of that, like, is still the hurt talking. I don't want to do that again.
Right. That was a disaster. So let's not repeat that.
Right. And say, but no, I can do that, and I can do it differently. I can do it differently.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, communication is key. Using our words, saying what we want, saying what we mean, meaning what we say, all of those things. being intentional about
Mm-hmm.
our approaches, being intentional about what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and being strong enough to say when something is not going well, right? And finding out how to say it. But I think so much of that goes with choosing, like I said in the first place, choosing grown people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, when you find out, okay, we can't have an initial conversation, we're definitely not going to be able to have deeper conversations.
Right.
Cutting your losses and moving on. So again, not the 100,000 chances, not stringing it along because we think there might not be any other people, stringing it along because we've already slept with the person. So now we don't want to add to the body count. Well, I got to stay here because I don't want to, be anybody else. And so changing the game, and it goes back full circle to what you said at the beginning, working on ourselves.
Else. Yeah.
And so exploratory dating that I was talking about last night is still something that I would recommend for people.
Hmm.
Date to find out. Date to
Yep.
find out about you. Date to find out about what you want. It was through dating that I found out that some of the things that people had said to me in the past, I'll say my top traits, that I was like, I remember somebody else saying that. Okay, so what's the common denominator? Me.
Hmm.
Something I need to work on. So now I can't blame, right, all these other people. You kept showing up. It also drives who you choose,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like I said, that choosing, and I know somebody asked me recently, so why are you single? I said, because I haven't been good at choosing.
Mm.
I haven't been good at choosing.
Hmm.
Yep. So so being honest about that. So choosing to be in the empath. Oh, him need love. I will show him no one will love him better than me. And you end up fixing some type of broken person who don't really want to be healed. And you find out that's not a relationship. Now I'm running a hospital, okay, with a broken heart.
Yeah, and running a hospital is stressful.
Very
What?
much so, especially if you're not in medicine, okay?
Yeah. What another thing I learned about about myself was my ability to manage conflict with another person. So
Ooh, say, talk
I'm a
about that.
very low key person. I used to be a screamer in my 20s and early 30s, and I got tired of doing that, and I just started being more mellow and more calm. So if there's a disagreement that comes up, I need to, and I was good with articulating this towards the end of my marriage, and then with the last person, it's like, okay, so we have a disagreement. All right, those things happen. I'm going to listen to you, and I need to process. So I'm not going back and forth with you because I don't want anything to get lost in translation. I don't want my emotions to take over. So I'm going to calmly listen to everything you have to say. I'm going to process it, and maybe I can talk at the end of your talking, or
Hmm.
but most of the time I need a day or two, and then I need to come back and talk. And the fact that he respected that, I appreciate it. So that
Hmm.
let me know too, okay, there's some people out here who also don't want to be raising hell all the time, and
Yes,
they
yes.
can respect the difference in the way that I process disagreements and uncomfortable approach, and we can approach the uncomfortable conversations in a way that's respectful as well as productive, that leads to a deeper understanding of each other. So that was another thing that was very, and I'm definitely taking that with me, because I'd done it with other people, but not with the romantic partner
Not
before.
in the relationships, absolutely. Like I said, we do it at work. Definitely, I had to do it in classrooms, right?
Hmm.
Teaching kids, right?
Yeah.
Conflict resolution.
Hmm.
But no, in my relationship, it's like,
Yeah. And I can say I never felt disrespected during the disagreement. He was
mm-hmm.
like, okay, okay, well, that's not what I said, or that's not what I did. And there was one time, one time it got a little heated, and he said, well, I think we need to get off the phone. And I'm still talking. And then he said something, and I was like, yeah, I think we need to get off the phone, because there's sometimes when you start saying things, it just escalates, and
It's
then
gonna
you say all
escalate.
kinds of
Yep.
stuff that you never,
Yep.
you don't need to be saying that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get off. We're gonna get off the phone. You're right 5 minutes ago. So yeah. So it
Yep.
was it was always respectful and productive, I would say.
Here's the thing. I think, like I said, learning that again, especially if there's an us, let's look at the problem over there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the problem,
Right. Uh-huh.
right? And that's a lot of times how I know I looked at it as a younger woman. You're doing this to me.
Yeah.
Stop doing this to me.
And then that'll
Instead of
fix it. It's
saying,
like, well,
here's the
no, because
problem. How can we fix this? Okay, this is how I'm seeing this. That when you say this, this hurts. But it's over here. I'm not pointing my finger at you. I'm
Right,
talking
right.
about a problem that's between us. How are we going to fix that?
Yeah, yeah.
Totally different way of looking at
Yes.
things. Totally different way of looking at things. So that has changed. That has
Yeah,
changed. Like
that's
saying,
changed. Yeah,
owning that and
definitely.
say, sometimes I'll take it on myself. I think maybe I'm not understanding this. So help me understand.
Yes, right. It's like I have a block. I have a block. I need you to help me understand.
Could you
Yep.
explain this to me, right? Because I want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
peace. And I think, again, to close, Valencia, like we said earlier, peace. When you finally experience peace on your own, you're not willing to relinquish that
Right.
at any cost. And so not only am I looking for peace, but I'm also going to be a cultivator of peace in whatever situation I'm in. So if I'm feeling that anxiety and stress is coming on, I got to bring that down. I'm not going to add to it because I found peace, and I'm not going to compromise that. Nor do I want to compromise yours. So we see all these memes that be a man's peace. I want to be his peace because I'm about peace. Again, not to get him. Because I think again, when we fake the funk, he's gonna find out eventually you a crazy ass. Okay. So if you're not peaceful, and you say,
Right.
babe, I got you, babe, I'm here for you. And then he find out, you a ticking time bomb. That's where be peace. Then you can be his peace, their peace, your kids, whatever.
Yeah.
If you are a peaceable person, but don't just fake the peace again to try to be attractive to someone.
Yeah.
Be at peace for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be at peace for yourself.
Right, for you, because then whether it goes forward or whether it ends, you still benefit from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why I said everybody always want to come home. I don't have anybody. They only have one person that's like, we're like, not. But everybody else, no bridges burnt. It's like it just didn't work well with us. But you're a good person. You're a good person. So for those of you who have listened, you got to go all the way back to the beginning. But we talked about making some changes, starting with yourself. If your dating life is suckish, you're like, what is really going on? Got to make some changes. How you're doing it, why you're doing it, how you show up in that space, what your expectations are. Should you have any expectations? Building friendships. And then we just talked about conflict resolution. The other one I want to leave you with is picturing, right? Describing the relationship. And that made a huge difference for me when I sat down and actually wrote it out in narrative form. What does the ideal relationship look like to me? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? All of that. So I was like, when I find it, I will know. It's just like a job description, right? If you've ever hired for any position, you've talked about what skills and capabilities this person needs to have. So when you're interviewing them, dating, you can identify, this is a good applicant for this position. I think I can give them more time. I think I'll call them in for a second interview, second date. And honestly, I can say the applicants have gotten better since I did that because I was clear. So I'm not getting all of these wounded.
I don't get the phrases anymore either. Yep. They don't even approach me. Yeah.
Nope. Had to elevate my thinking. And so it's like I said, it's manifested in a lot different choices. Cass says, okay, so here's my PSA for Cass. I'm gonna say what Rebecca said, then I'm getting off of here. So anybody who's looking, we got a beautiful young man in the chat who said he wants to be married. He's looking for marriage first. That's the key. If it turns into 13 good dates, okay, 13, that's so random. But remember, I will be keeping it real. The main thing is to show you the spirit of love still exists. I love that.
That's sweet.
So he said you want it to be a good experience, even if the end goal isn't met. And I think that's really wonderful. I said to show up being you. And then Rebecca, hey, big sis, she all the way from Philadelphia. She said, yes, be a cultivator of peace. It is your hope that what you plant, the seed of peace, is what you too will receive. Ooh, that shouts me. That's real. So change your game and the game will change.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all I got this evening. So if you want to find me on social media, I am Kimberly A. King. You can find me on Facebook there. You can also find me on Facebook in my wonderful group of 2,000 or so ladies, Love and Life According to Dr. Kim. That's women only. You can also find me on the Complete Suite LLC for your life coaching, relationship coaching, or career coaching needs. You want to talk about your stuff? Your dating game is whack? Come talk to me. Okay, I can get you on point. You can inbox me there or on Instagram. I would love to have you as a client. And I want to thank the referrals that I've gotten. The last few clients I've gotten have been from referrals, personal referrals, people saying, she's that person. So if I can help you sort your stuff out, come on in. Let's do it. I want to
Hmm.
thank Valencia Bay for hanging out with me tonight, talking about changing the dating game. Thank you, sis.
Yeah, thank you for asking. It was a good time.
Okay, always, always. I appreciate you. And so I will not be on next Friday because it's Scorpio season. So I will be partying. I will be partying next week, but the 11th we'll be back with the younger men and older women. Why
Okay.
do the younger men like the older women and vice versa? I think I'm gonna get some older women in here too. And let's find out together.
Yeah,
All right.
let's find out. I want to see if I'm missing something. So yes, let's find out.
I'm telling you the younger is where it's at.
That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah, younger is where it's at. Find out. All right. Thank you all. Thank you
All
in the
right.
chat. Thank you guys. Love you.
Love
All
you
right. Good
too.
night. Thank
All right.
you.
Good night.